What up? Wade here. Welcome back to the Wade Alter Show. So today what I want to talk about is the 10K test. And this test is something that I use regularly with clients if they're coming to me and want to start a business, or they have a fledgling startup and they want to take it to the next level, and making sure that within the next 6 months, we can get this baby to 10K a month as fast as possible. So that number, it's kind of arbitrary. I feel for a lot of people, it's kind of that 6-figure income. Really what it comes down to, it's enough for you to be able to do what you need to do full time, work on that business. So that gives you the freedom so you can travel or do whatever you want with your time. And so it's just a good metric. It's a good benchmark to say, okay, is this business viable for me to really, put the time and energy into it? So if you're the type of person who's thinking, I'd love to start a business, but I'm afraid, I don't want to invest all this time and money into something and then it doesn't work out and I'm spending months and months and months and it's just a total waste of time. This is really going to help you out, make sure that the idea you have really could be sustainable. Also, if you already have a business and you're kind of like, it's kind of sputtering along here, through a little bit of marketing of how you use the 10K test, you can change your positioning and you can pivot a little bit to really add the jet fuel to get you to scale a lot faster, as well as even if you're near that 10,000 to 20,000 a month range and things are starting to go pretty well. This is the thing that's really going to take your business to the next level. Because what it comes down to, if you want to go from 10 to 100, or 100 to a million, what it comes down to is having a super crystal clear message. I think this is literally the most important part. It's not about the systems. It's not about the strategies. It's about, you got to start going off to colder and colder audiences. You can't rely as much on organic growth. You can't rely as much on referrals where people can really, pass along that social proof or the trust and authority from the start. To get to the cold audience, you got to have a crystal clear message that delivers an acute solution to some pain that they have. And so before we dive into what the 10K test is, I want to say that this fits a specific business. So it's the type of business that I've been building for years. I've done it once successfully in the dating niche, dating advice for men. I've done it successfully as a life coach. And that's kind of what really led to a lot more people asking, hey, how did you do that there? Can you help me do that in the personal training industry? Or can you help me do that in the dancing industry? Or how can I turn whatever my skill set is into a product, into a service, high ticket coaching, so that I'm able to just do Skype calls and do it from anywhere? I'm not using this methodology here, the 10K test. It's not about, is my drop shipping company going to work properly? Is my Amazon little book club publishing thing, is that what this is for? This is the specific thing of I have some sort of skill set. I have some sort of information. I have some sort of strength. I don't care if it's playing the guitar or if it's, like I said, breakdancing, or you love social dynamics and picking up girls. I mean, that's how I kind of got my start. Looking at that and, okay, now let's apply the 10K test to those strengths or those passions that you have. And how can we make sure that this business can be a success where you can be doing it full time in less than half a year? So what is the 10K test? It has to meet 2 criteria, either survival or replication. We want to create something in our marketing, the way that we translate the benefits of our service, of our knowledge, of our product, in a way that somebody who doesn't know anything about you, doesn't know who you are at all, can look at that and say, does this help me in one of those 2 primary areas? Does this help me survive better, or survive, I'm in this pain, I have this pain. So it could be health issues where you have actual physical pain, or it could be, how to make more money so you can get out of a situation where you're like, I'm struggling, how to get out of paycheck to paycheck so I can be more successful. Or it could be on the replication side. So this could be, like I said, dating advice or something like that. Or even, I have one client who he helps single fathers, build better relationships with the kids and the ex-wife so that he can see his kids more. That's the replication side. And so I've talked in previous podcasts about things like persuasion and the triune brain. And so the triune brain is, you have the neocortex, the limbic, and the reptilian. So you have neocortex, that's deep level ideas, meta thinking. And this is where so many experts, if you love something, you're passionate about something, you're staying too much up there. You're helping people understand things better. And then if you go a level deeper, you get into the emotions, getting the fears and the frustrations people have. And then you have that reptilian level, the survival and replication. And if you can hit people on that wavelength, that's what's going to lead to really compel them to take action. So you want your marketing, and if you can build your business fundamentally in a way that that's just inherent in it, that's what's going to lead to things scaling fast, because people can see the ramifications. They can see the result or the outcome that they're getting by buying your products and services. And so let's use the 10K test. Let's get into a couple specific examples here so you can see how you can use it. So let's say you love dancing. This is one of favorite clients who's listening. What's up? Props. So you could say, okay, how does this fit into the 10K test? Well, I could teach dance lessons. And, if you think about that, probably charge about 50, 60 bucks an hour. You're gonna need a lot of clients and be working a lot of hours for something like that. It's not really giving you the freedom. I could see quickly that turns into just a job where you're working 50, 60 hours a week just to kind of get by. And there's probably a lot of dance instructors out there that are like that. How could we fit this into the get laid or get paid, survival replication, the 10K test? Okay, well, what if we taught people that love dancing how to turn it into a career, how they could be more competitive, how they could, get sponsorships, how they could create, YouTube channels that gets lots of views, and they're teaching them how to build an audience and things like that, where, all of a sudden they're making an income there. Boom, look at that. All of a sudden it fits into the 10K test. So you can see for filtering your ideas, but also if you have a business that's coming along and it's starting to get going and you're thinking, okay, how can I position myself? How can I market things effectively so that I can really start scaling faster? I remember for myself when I started doing the life coaching, if you think about it, I had to start over fresh where all my social media was gone, got taken away by the company that I was working for. And I started using my real name. I used to go by Brad, and now having my real name there, people not knowing anything about me. I had a few people that kind of randomly found out about it and were like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, let's work together. But most of it was starting from scratch. And so life coaching, the reason it's so hard is because you're like, I'll help you with, accountability, or I'll help you with your confidence or your self-esteem. You can't put a dollar symbol on something like that. You kind of can. You can hope that maybe your customer translates that and they go, I could see how if I was more confident, I'd probably get more sales. But why don't assume anything. Don't let them translate the benefits. Dive into that deeper. And let me tell you, when everything started, the jet fuel was added to my business, was when I started translating, things like procrastination. I heard so many people, they're like, I know what I need to do, I just can't get myself to do it. And so I became the guy to give them the baseline. Was one of the big courses that all of a sudden was like how to get unstuck, how to do what you want, and then really giving specific examples and case studies about, look at how this person got unstuck and they started a business and now they're financially free. Or look at how this person got unstuck and was able to approach that girl they've been wanting to approach. And so translating it directly, seeing how, this could lead, I see exactly how this leads to the success that I ultimately want. And then sculpting the message, sculpting the marketing, sculpting the free content, and sculpting the course itself to give those examples of say, now the exercise, here's what you're going to do next. Start at the beginning, say, what do I want? And now we're going to walk you step by step through that process. That's when things really took off. And remember, this isn't just about, how do I make sure I position my stuff to help people make more money? It's not about that. It's survival and replication. So you could be a personal trainer. And again, think about it. So let's say you're doing pretty well. You're like, I got a lot of clients. Things are going pretty great. The next step is like, how do I scale this? You need to translate not how to just look better naked or something like that. That's a good start. But, naked kind of assumes, hopefully there's another person there. Make that leap, do it for your customer. Say, when you have more energy, all of a sudden you're going to be able to make more money in your business because you're going to be able to work longer, you're going to be more productive, and that's what's going to lead to the success that you ultimately want and the lifestyle that you're going to have. Or when all of a sudden you lose that 20 pounds, you're going to be so much more attractive to the opposite sex. You're going to look in the mirror and be more confident, and that's what's going to lead to you having the dating life that you've always wanted. And so when you do the marketing and you dive into that and you don't just assume that the customer is going to translate the benefits, it really becomes a necessity. And like I said, you could look at other businesses like, look at Tony Robbins. He has Unleash the Power Within. And all he does is talk about like, you need to unleash your potential. Well, that's the type of person who has huge amounts of social proof. You see the videos and there's thousands of people there and there's so many referrals and organic traffic coming in. I hear that his salespeople, they have infinity sales leads. Like literally they could never in everyone like Tony's lifetime take all the salespeople and turn them into coaching clients. But that is not the sort of business model that you want to model there. And also you could say, well, what about Apple? And they have certain hardware. I'm not talking about the type of business where it's going to take you 5 years of development here to get something that's viable, or again, the software app or something like that. This is something that you can start today. You can look at, okay, what strengths do I have and how do I filter them through this 10K test to make sure, oh my God, this is something that I can start off and get up and get rocking fast and get now, because I see how I have an acute pain here. I see how it fits in, and I'm willing to put in the time. Because if I look at for myself, really what it came down to really take the leap of faith into becoming an entrepreneur, whether that was launching my first product or going off on my own, it was that fear of, can I do this? It was the fear of, is this going to work? And the thing is, success in anything, I always say it's like a sculpture, right? It's more about removing what doesn't work and finding what does. But if I can be here and hopefully you listen to this podcast, it's giving you, so you don't have to make the same mistakes and you can have some of those quick little action things to guarantee that, oh, actually this is a viable option. Something like the 10K test, it really is just such a great resource to say, boom, oh, I can see now how this fits into it. And I can take this and really commit to the time of developing the marketing, start putting content out, investing a little money in Facebook ads and seeing traffic come in and seeing how they immediately resonate with my message. And so again, I want to reiterate, there's infinity different types of business models out there. But when you have all those options, it just leads to that paralysis by analysis. It leads to the self-doubt. And what I've found in my own life, as well as the clients that come to me, the freedom that they want from being an entrepreneur in the business, this is one of the best ways to get there, because you're starting with the end in mind. You're starting, okay, would I really enjoy doing this? I have not so many clients, but I have clients that are making millions of dollars in their 20s, working 70, 80 hours a week. I call it the golden handcuffs, because yes, there's a lot of financial freedom there, but the other, they're stuck in an office or they're not doing something that has any impact or meaning. And so when you can start with the end in mind and then guarantee that this thing is going to be valuable to other people, i.e. the 10K test, it just starts you off with that foundation right away. And you can get, okay, cool. Now what's the next step? Now, okay, cool. I know this is going to resonate with someone. How do I find that person? Let's start getting some traffic coming in. And it's going to be cheaper because it solves that acute pain right from the start. Your message is going to be more dialed in. It's going to be more sneezable or viral, if you want to call it, to where it scales faster because cold traffic sees it. And they say, oh, I can see the immediate, how this could, really help me out. It dials in the person that you want to talk to. And it just does so many great things from the start that leads to, you're going to be able to monetize this down the road. So start with the end in mind. Apply the 10K test, and I'd love to hear your feedback on this. I always ask this. Podcast is so hard to hear feedback. So I'd love either shoot me a review, shoot me an email, wade@wadealters.com. Love to hear that. Any questions you have, I'd love to answer them. Meet me on Facebook. As always, enjoy.